Good day, Deep Word family. Welcome to day 101 of our Bible study review. Today we are going through chapters 7 through 9 of 1 Kings. Chapter 7 opens up telling us that King Solomon built his own palace, his own house for 13 years. And then he built a similar home for his wife, Pharaoh's daughter. Then it says that King Solomon sent for Huram. He was a man from the tribe of Naphtali. Him and his father were crafted and skilled in bronze work. So I tagged a video yesterday of Solomon's temple, a 3D model. You might want to check that out today as well, because the details within this chapter talk about the brazen sea that is in front of the temple, that is crafted out of bronze with the 12 oxen. And then it talks about the 10 bronze stands that also have basins on the inside of them. There are 5 on the right side of the temple and 5 on the left side of the temple. Those are the details that you can get a visual of in the recommended video. The 2 pillars on the porch of the temple, which are called Jachin and Boaz, those are also made of bronze, and at the very top of them, you'll see that they are shaped like pomegranates. So Huram, he is the one from the tribe of Naphtali who is responsible for all of the bronze that you see within the recommended video. But then inside of the temple, all of the utensils on the inside, the table of showbread, it accredits King Solomon to that. The wisdom to be able to craft these things is given from Yahuwah Elohim. In chapter 8, we see that the Ark of the Covenant is brought inside of the Temple of Solomon. But before this takes place, King Solomon calls all of Israel to come and have this great feast in the 7th month. Y'all, if you don't know already, the biggest feast that takes place in the 7th month, it is the Feast of Tabernacles. The Feast of Tabernacles is a joyous occasion. I want you to start drawing these parallels. King Solomon and all of the congregation of Israel come together before the altar and they sacrifice so many oxen and sheep that it could not be counted. They were celebrating that finally the Ark of the Covenant is coming inside of the temple. And again, this represents that the presence of Elohim is dwelling among them. So the Levitical priests are the ones who bring the Ark of the Covenant inside of the temple. And the moment that it is done, the glory cloud fills the temple. It says that Solomon is gazing before this. His face is towards the temple. Then Solomon turns around and he blesses Israel. And he tells them the story of how David wanted to build a house, but the task was sent to Solomon. And he tells all of the congregation of Israel that Yahuwah, he is faithful to his word. He has done everything he said he would do. He has taken us out of bondage, brought us into a land of promise, and he promises to put his name here. I know that Solomon is in awe because he knows his history. The Hebrews were slaves, and then they were brought out. They were numbered. Slaves are never numbered, y'all. Elohim brought them out to show them their worth. I hope you see he's doing the same with us. I truly hope you're getting a revelation about this, because our Messiah will not come back until the fullness of the Gentiles is brought in. Brought into what? Israel. Israel, people, the covenant always has been and always will be with Israel. The ecclesia, what people call the church, is not separate from Israel. There is no 2 different people. There's no different set of laws. You are grafted into Israel. And our Messiah will not come back until the fullness of the number that he already knows is brought in. All right, back to the text. Now King Solomon goes up where the altar is, and he spreads his hands up towards heaven, and he has this long prayer of dedication. And he tells him, when your people come before you in a correct heart posture, may you hear our supplication from heaven. He says, even if they turn away, even when you banish them from the land, when they come to their senses and pray towards this place, you will hear them. I want you to see that Solomon also prays for the foreigner, the ones who are outside of the covenant. Let's read what he has to say in verses 41 through 43. Also concerning the foreigner who is not of your people Israel and comes from a far country for your name's sake, for they will hear of your great name and of your strong hand and of your outstretched arm. When he comes and prays towards this place, may you hear in heaven, your dwelling place, and do all that the foreigner asks of you, so all people of the earth will know your name, to fear you as your people Israel do, and that they may know that this house which I have built is called by your name. You see, the covenant is supposed to be for all of humanity, first to the Yahudim and then to the rest of the world. You see, they were sent first to be a light among the nations, so that the promise made to Abraham may be fulfilled. Do you see his heart for those who are not inside of the covenant yet? Because this is opposite of a disgusting Talmudic teaching that there is no salvation for the Gentiles, that the Noahide laws apply to them, that only Jews can be saved. That's not scriptural. That is a hateful, disgusting Talmudic teaching. You see, back in Genesis chapter 48, Jacob, who is renamed Israel, adopted his grandson as his own son. Ephraim is a picture of us, y'all, because Jacob said, your son, Ephraim, who is now my son, his descendants will become a multitude of nations. And what was the promise to Abraham? That the capital S seed would come and he would bless all of the nations so that they could come into the covenant. And we're about to see that the northern 10 tribes were all called Ephraim, and they were scattered all across the world. Again, who do you think that represents? I'm going to need the body of Messiah to wake up. If this is your first time reading the Bible, then it won't make sense yet. But once we get there, it will. I'm going to tag a video that gives further revelation about who we are and how the body of Messiah has been lied to for thousands of years. Please check out this video. All right, at the end of chapter 8, we see that there are more peace and burnt offerings made by King Solomon and all of Israel of 22,000 oxen and 100,000 sheep. That's crazy. On the very same day, it says that King Solomon consecrated the court area, and they had so many sacrifices, y'all, they couldn't keep up, like it could not go upon the altar. Then it says that King Solomon held another great feast, and it went on for 14 days. And after that, the rest of Israel went home to their tents, and they were joyful of heart. In chapter 9, it says that Yahuwah appears to Solomon. It doesn't say how, but most likely this is in a dream. And he tells him, I will be faithful, and I will do all that I have promised, so long as you and the rest of the people keep the charges and the commands. But Yahuwah tells him, on the contrary, if you forsake me, you break my covenant, and you start serving other gods, he says, this house that you built up for me, he says, I will tear it down, and my presence will not be with you. Again, let's draw some parallels, because we are the temple where the Spirit of Yah dwells. But if we then, having the testimony written upon the tablet of our heart, Jeremiah 31:31, if we abandon the covenant and we start serving other gods and we start serving our flesh again, please remember what Messiah said. He said, if you are lukewarm, playing both sides, he says, I will spew you out of my mouth. Many will come to him and say, Lord, Lord, and he will say, depart from me. I don't know you. Why? Because they're using the blood of the covenant as a permission slip to go back to serving your flesh. It's time to wake up, body of Messiah. At the end of chapter 9, we see that the Pharaoh of Egypt, who is the father-in-law of King Solomon, he conquers territory within the promised land. All of the territory that the children of Israel would not push out the inhabitants, it says that the Pharaoh did it. And so King Solomon placed those inhabitants under slave labor. They served the children of Israel. Now, this is not right. This is breaking the laws of Elohim. But again, imperfect people. I really truly wonder what it looked like during his reign, because scripture said there was nothing ever like it. But we know that the kingdom, the millennial reign of Christ, will far surpass anything ever in history. Deep in Word family, that is all that I have for you today. Until tomorrow, Yah bless.